Happy Red Friday, Low V Rates Nation. It's Maurice here again, your favorite loan officer, right? Don't forget, when you guys call in, you can ask for me. I actually do a lot better on the phone, so just in case this isn't working for you, believe me, I'm your guy. But anyway, happy Red Friday, as always, wearing red. Why? Remembering everyone deployed. Shout out to all our troops and their families for doing what you're doing, serving our nation, protecting us. Greatly appreciate it. So here's just a little homage to you guys, all right? So today we're going to be talking about loan estimate. Oftentimes I get borrowers who ask about a good faith estimate, and then I say loan estimate sort of throws them out, and I don't understand what that means. I haven't heard that term. There's a reason for that. The loan estimate actually does replace a certain document that used to be issued. Actually, it replaces two. There is a TIL, or Truth in Lending form, and there's the GFE, or the Good Faith Estimate. As of 2015, a few changes were made by law, and the loan estimate is now these standard documents, a 3-page document, okay? The reason for this is actually so you as a borrower can actually compare lenders, compare rates, comparing apples to apples. That way you don't have one lender sending you one form with the fees and all that, and a breakdown of their fees and costs and the rate, and then you get another one from a different lender and it looks completely different. The loan estimate is a standard form on purpose to protect you, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the loan estimate. Now, there's 6 bits of information required to provide to the lender so that they can issue a loan estimate, okay? What are those 6 bits of information? Now, one is the consumer's name, social security number, property address, estimated monthly income. I'm trying to think of the other two. We have the loan amount and the property address. Okay, so I believe I've given the 6, or maybe I repeated this. The property address is the estimated value of the property. That's the 6th one. Sorry about that. So those 6 bits of information are needed. Once those are provided, then within 3 days, the lender has to provide you a loan estimate. Now, if you might be thinking, well, I've provided my information for a few days now, and it's been more than 3 days, but I haven't seen a loan estimate. First off, check with your loan officer, find out why. Second of all, oftentimes it's because we don't have an estimated value of the property. That's that last bit of information. And so technically they may not have been doing anything wrong. It's just they just haven't gotten that piece of information. But anyway, more often than not, you should be getting the loan estimate within 3 days of your application. Okay? Now, what is this loan estimate? Now you received it, and I still don't understand what it means, right? Well, let's break it down a little bit for you. I want to thank Amberly Sweat, because she actually drew this. She did an amazing job, and so that way we can actually go through it. I'm going to point out, I'm going to go over everything briefly, but I'm also going to emphasize some of the more important parts, okay? So here we have 3 pages. Page 1 has, and each page of the loan estimate is going to have the same information no matter which lender you go to, okay? So here's going to have your information, the property address, the name, and so forth. Here, you're going to find the loan term, what kind of loan, how long the term of the loan is, the purpose of the loan, if it's going to be a refinance, or if it's going to be a purchase, etc. But here's a very important line that I want to point out, rate lock, okay? The reason this is important is because then you know that your interest rate has been locked, and it's for what period of time, okay? It can be 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, anything in between. It can be for 10 days, okay? But you want to see this because then that tells you that the rate that you have there is good. No matter what happens to the markets, you're locked at that interest rate, okay? So when you're comparing apples to apples, you're comparing different lenders and their rates, you want to see, is it locked or not? If it's locked, it'll have that box checked, the yes box checked. If it's not locked, it'll have a no, okay? So when you're comparing, and one of the things we love to do is beat other lenders' rates, is we can beat any lender's rate as long as your rate is locked. If we can't beat them, we have a $250 best rate guarantee. Make sure to ask your loan officer, preferably me, about that, okay? If we cannot beat their rate, we send you $250. So, loan terms. This will have the loan amount, the interest rate, and the how much your principal and interest payment will be, okay? So again, if this box is yes, checked yes, that is your interest rate. If it's no, that interest rate can change. Nothing is set until it's locked. So very important to make sure that box is checked. Payments, this gives you a breakdown of your monthly payments and estimated escrow for the homeowner's insurance, property taxes, oftentimes they show HOA dues. But when we're giving a loan estimate, we don't know those numbers for sure, so it's just an estimate, okay? Estimated closing costs, so costs at closing, how much your loan is going to cost, the price, the closing cost plus lender costs, and then how much you may possibly have to bring to the closing, or how much money you're going to get out at closing, okay? So very important to go through page 1. Page 2, another very important page. They're all important, right? That's why they're in there. Closing cost details. Loan costs here will tell you what the lender is charging you. Origination fees, processing fees, underwriting fees, all right? And also any discount points. Discount points, I know we've discussed this before in the past, but in case you want to pay for your interest rate, why would you want to do that, right? Well, what if you want to buy down to a lower interest rate? You can pay for it, okay? But that's very important because oftentimes one lender can show you a 3.875 and the other one as well, but one may not be charging you for that 3.875, whereas the other one is, okay? And this is where you can see that. There can be discount points for that there. Services you cannot shop for, this is for, appraisal, pest inspection, things like that. No, actually pest inspection goes in services you can shop for. Credit report, these are things that are still required by the loan, and the lender, they can choose who to order it through, okay? Services you can shop for, like I said, pest inspection, title. Title is another topic we're going to discuss at a later date, but these are things that you can choose who you want to do it. So this is just an estimated cost, but very important there because you want to see, hey, if a lender is choosing a title company, you think, hey, that's a little expensive. I know a title company that could be a little cheaper. Make sure, though, you talk to the loan officer, because sometimes just because they're cheaper doesn't mean they're going to give you a good service, okay? So then you get total loan costs, and that they just add up sections A, B, and C. Other, you're going to have taxes, prepaids, recording fees of the county. There are transaction fees that the lender has no control over. It may be just subject to your area. But that's what this section is going to be. Prepaids are for any homeowner's insurance, property taxes, things that need to be paid before the closing. Escrow payment, anything that we need to put into the new escrow account, okay? If you're doing a refinance or even a purchase, we have to have an escrow account set up for homeowners and property taxes, and it might be just a few months that you need to put into it, maybe 6 months. Other just miscellaneous things that may come up. Also, you can see here even lender credits too. So this is a good section to see if there's maybe something the lender is going to pay you for doing the loan. And again, this section, cash to close. So that's page 2. So page 3, again, it just gives you the lender information, your loan officer as well. Here's a good, very important section I want to highlight, is it tells you the APR, annual percentage rate, okay? What that means is, that is what you want to compare between lenders, okay? So there's your interest rate, but then there's those closing costs and lender costs and all that. Well, the APR is actually a true reflection of your interest rate with all those costs rolled into it. So you want to, and that's what we always guarantee to be. We're always guaranteeing to beat the other lender's APR, okay? Things to consider, this will give you a little bit of information as to possible, sometimes there's prepayment penalties or things like that, and so this is what this section is going to provide you with. Confirm receipt. This is so when you receive the loan estimate, you can actually let the loan officer know, hey, I've received it, you can sign and date it, oftentimes not always required. But here you have it, this is your loan estimate, 3-page document, very, very important, especially when you're trying to compare rates, trying to see which lender you want to go with. If you have any questions, please post them. We always have great assistants here checking it out, and you'll find a loan officer who can answer your questions, all right? Well, happy Friday, guys. Love talking to you. We'll be in touch.